should recognize the accomplishments of these two fine teams.
Just in case.
Alright, I certainly didn't think I would have this opportunity. It's going to be kind of difficult for me. I'd like to thank the NDT committee, UT for hosting. Very good NDT. I'd also like to thank Dr. Rowland and Dr. Carson. Long line of KU alum that's made this a pretty historical moment for me. Dr. Harris, and the coaches, I've learned a lot from all of you about life and debate. Sandra, Suzanne, other people that work with the program. You guys had a hell of a year, good work. Nate, you work hard, smart guy. Couldn't have asked for a better partner this year. Jennings, I don't know if you're out there somewhere. Jennings, I learned so much more from you than I have from anybody else. Our best friend. Thanks for everything. All right. Advantage towards Asian supply reform. U.S. should abolish grain subsidies, triggers Asian supply reform. NAFTA and developed countries should have a distorted production through the subsidies is indisputable. The subsidies provided by the U.S. to exploit global production subsidies press prices and discourage competitive producers. Otherwise, there are crisis to develop countries charging price because of extensive subsidies in countries difficult to rest going through the supply shock food price because suddenly escalate. And most countries face crisis and rest towards developed countries soon to invest in undeveloped countries demanding their farm subsidies. U.S. keep plan boost foreign grain producers dominating U.S. against major supply from foreign grain effects cut off from foreign producers with you or by U.S. farm subsidies for foreign farmers. Out by the work by the surplus crop generated in the U.S. removal of subsidies will decrease U.S. farm incomes, but foreign farmers gain in being able to sell their crops. And the signal of the plan solve global poverty and invigorates global supply response. Becker to the U.S. and be sending grain from the U.S. supply the global market for the soda for artificially low prices for grain produced by farmers. And the grain market becomes the sort of that's why the U.S. market is going for. The food services the effectual throughout the developing countries throughout grain farmers would push farmers off the land. It's not about price, elimination of subsidies. Steve Donlin, a U.S. wraps their subsidy wraps their farmers and so many subsidies production price mean almost nothing. That's why world prices of grain production is falling. Even so, there's a record amount of American grain and subsidies. Make prices irrelevant. The plan transform global responses from stopgap measures to long-term focused trading markets. Aid rising prices and signals farmers produce more of their price signals are interrupted by subsidies. Governments are reduced to stopgap measures to basically off the starvation. The short measure roadmap for solutions to long-run scenario one is Russia. Russian economy is declining now. Reinvigoration of exports only way to sustain growth. Wilson, Russian economy is due for major chip. Russia is suffering from underinvestment. Russia will be human grade ag power as much 80% of Russia's potential ag lands unused or anti-investment ag would considerable economic advantage outside of boost GDP and export growth that disproportionately serve capitals and would push money to rural areas. Grain is key. CS2K. These grains are versatile support crops by more than 50% of crop land. Wheat is dominant barley. Second wheat is grown for feeding your nuclear war. David 99 today went to internal war. Does like Russia act out the deterioration of prime congestion and sexual for ruling that Russia control its fight civil movements for autonomy of the issue by insurrections and wars like this. Rest coming into war. The consequences will be severe. Major part like Russia does not suffer from civil war. Led by Russia Confederation might low China observes Russia its full of its neighbors and disintegration. They lost control of the nuclear arsenal. Moscow starting to grab on new states will like making weapons and spies available to fight range 50 groups such as reversal of nuclear weapons represents the greatest physical threat in America now faces scenario. Choose China, U.S. grain competition is collapsing world. China leads to increased pressure on the government business weakening. India, China just have to worry about the economic hardships that percent whether it's for hundreds of millions farmers have that struggle to compete against imports from the U.S. when it comes to competing against American agriculture. Chinese also farmers very weak. The government faces serious pressure. Farmers so pressure is even more acute for the Indian government. Officials in New Delhi have to confront a new role. The next slide said targeted poor farmers for recruiting and the impacts of social instability. Government collapse. Chan aid the Chinese citizens have to address the goal between rich and poor. That way, if you will not take the guillotine, the French revolution, the Lobisa, will consider an exaggeration social discontent will explode mean social stability this will growth is likely to create a reaction to mass scale social turmoil in China will divert by starting wars throughout Asia. Innocent 226 and unemployment could lead to increases in social unrest on CCP the country's leaders might bolster their legitimate right to discontent with outside China will pursue Western political strategies. China, East Asian capital zones, China will try to get the shift begins to slide towards war extinction. Straight attempts to get the scenario constellation question where we're escalating will escalate to a full-scale war between the US and China conflict would enable other countries by every possibility of the war. That could best moves into the destruction of civilization. Grain is key. China view and maintaining stable agricultural support, production space support to stimulate growth. Greater imports related to ensuring the country's grain security. The country should stabilize the grain sowing area and devastate the rural sector leads to a war with Russia. The Sarah 7 only 7.5 million people live in the Russian area. 1 of 6.6 million. 3 don't know the China provinces about warring. Russia will not be able to avoid opening its borders to Chinese immigration. The Church of China will claim the loss of territories after Russia annexed the migration pressure might become a Church of China to control especially its agriculture production facing future China agriculture production makes a region. 20% settlers from China extinction. Sheridan 1 China saturated resources for the limited billion Chinese people and administrative people exchange back for Russia to maintain access behind them. Absolutely losers and absolutely not the losers. After the reaction flat on the north of Russia, base one of Russia from combat Chinese army, which is comparable in size to Russia's entire population, which also has nuclear such war. Would the horrible country be absolutely unconnected against Chechen and Balkan variants, both even against first of all possible nuclear winter scenarios. 3 is India. As competition leads to increased backslide influence, leads toward Carl 6 out to Oxford trade economists referred to best political crisis, crisis ever challenge of based on the country. So pretty challenge questions posed by backslide powers which war terrorists to destabilize the country will have direct consequence for stability and security of the economy. New York Times described the struggle as looking like a support the backslide providing that can be seen as response many Indians support the intensified support have from facts the deterioration can have a significant impact on energy security and India and beyond. New investments key business line 33 India will require substantial improvement in agriculture and infrastructure in order to sustain future growth, alleviate poverty, performance in agriculture, help rainforest farmers' income, and this conflict escalates in hotspots for Jula and have the situation be a disaster. Most mouse would consolidate the cold enemy expensive until the situation can be northeast would rise. Many resources of the nation are forced to have to be used to weaken the junction on the nation on the external front. India would be busy fighting for its stability. That goes nuclear Kepler 5. So Asian balances for the strategic environment in which nuclear escalation is a serious possibility. The defense departments enable Pakistan to launch limited conventional strikes against India. Some kids possibility full scale in India. Conventional retaliation to this significant degree of instability. Strategic levels actually promoting technical instability on the subcontinent. Advantage 2 is the international response. 2 scenarios. First is terrorism. While only qualified, comprehensive, non-partisan study concludes we lose the war on terrorism foreign policy. 8. The war on terror wages on foreign policy and for surface the very people of America's national security apparatus to be more than 100% for U.S. foreign policy experts. Next, only comprehensive, non-partisan efforts for the assessment of how the U.S. fighting the one terror. The experts view about the threat to face being consistent of the terror experts in the United States likely, or certainly within the next decade, and losing parts of my PPCA. There's a point where Pakistan just 10% says they had a negative view in lots of organization findings where at the end of the indicate the U.S. war on terror is not winning parts of my grain subsidies to see as a declaration of war against the poor world that triggers rampant hatred towards the U.S. Backer 2. The great former in Asia, Africa, and South America without subsidies and defense against what grain markets in which developed countries have to compete with a lot of subsidies in poor countries where 2/3 of people still live on farms and create American grains, which are seen as the equivalent of declaration of war and food perception provides the U.S. with a golden opportunity to rebuild its shattered leadership. LA Times say the U.S. could not lead to American still aspire to make the world a more democratic, more prosperous place with true terrorist nuclear states. If we see global cooperation with CTF, they would back up with the hunger provides the U.S. with global opportunity to good while building its shattered global leadership predictions and grain subsidies leading global and spreading terrorism. Bhutar 3 2 at the agricultural subsidy keep on facilitating terrorists which destabilize local food production. U.S. grain to stop the extra farmers out the market leave their country will depend on feeling U.S. grain cover the recipe for a starving population would be in stating up subsidies to drastically change the war on terrorism and deflate global anti-American Bhutar 3 2 as America crosses its way to combating extremists and trust opportunities for better ways to struggle against politics by any corporate subsidies, fan claims, violence, fraud, and interest, and public interest, Washington against the kind of terrorist notification why the public farms are claiming for subsidies when all that we would not be in a very disparate different subsidy policy for right now. So their policy of encouraging national terrorism, our national security, can fast against obtaining corporate subsidies and recruits into the arms of their enemies and terror is started by Allison 7 U.S. attempt to defend the terrorists saturated by the analysts virtually the industry judgment the contrary consequences are so catastrophic policy makes about category of to do everything the difference to no 1% 20% chance of likelihood to detect and significant what a nuclear observer ready maybe a weapon or elementary nuclear bomb the Russia would be the most like source second close second in South Korea or Pakistan they can hide it in marijuana U.S. retaliates beast and 6 terrorist attack would be devastating there would be against political pressure the discovery of change retaliate with weapons triggering a full-scale nuclear conflict scenario to organized crime will begin with the impacts first democracy Ebola organized crime serving responsible with the vast influence for government institution organized crimes become a fundamental threat to democracy, rule of law, human rights, and illicit structure to permeate the state. That's also wars, Morajevic, and one of the greatest evidence for the complete spread of democracy is more peaceful, democracy, do not compose as closely to the to empirical law and international relations, extinction, down 95 nuclear to biological weapons to do, to liberate the first source life on earth, global agencies to pierce increasing the danger of these threats, or associated with weakness or absence of democracy, and it leads to balking instability, corruption, and 7, the organized crime is visible with Balkans, organized crime, finance, illicit crime, and laundering, immigration, trafficking, corruption, violence, organized crime, Balkans, threats, democracy, and so, international social economic markets in the region, impact beyond the Balkans, that leads to war, Brzezinski, and the most volatile, dangerous region of the world with the most potential funds, both the case will be, the Balkans is here, the American side of the collision with the world of Islam, it leads to small arms, Greg Galani, and organized crime is involved in the next merge between organized crime, corruption, terrorist groups engaged in trafficking in firearms that outweighs nuclear war 190, for the world's nuclear weapons, we're watching the great interest in the comes to the weapons used in ethnic conflict leads to illegal wildlife trade from 8318, when by organized crime, the illegal trade of wildlife is estimated worth billions, making the biggest money making for organized crime, sharks, animals, strong speed, out the trade routes profitable to organized crime that causes endangered species, from 18 illegal wildlife trades, but the world's wildlife on are sold that many animals traded in endangered species are actually more valuable as high magnitude invisible threshold, Kunich one an enormous species are, when most of species are confined to a few hotspots, biodiversity hotspots, the key to the future life on this planet, our ignorance is enormous, so unknown species are concentrated hotspots contain over endangered species, appropriate to call the hotspots of the womb unknown species leads to all wars, UNODC, and now looking at the conflict of what you'll find, so you find out key points, as well as police, from criminal groups, sincere property, instability, and few incentives for peace, organized crime, that to peacekeeping, and building peace, the asking effect of social, so regional security issues will come straight off for years, long-term security depends on, first and foremost, on the rule of law, first and foremost on the rule of law, finally, the way subsidies cause resentment, global disparity, to organized crime best, and the 3 agricultural subsidies are linked to resentment and disparity, elsewhere the one that makes our inequal like these people, and hopefully to return to organized crime, they're engaged in crime, they fight over resource crime, over political sport, and have been so long, the nation's totally good grudge against their feeling that they all see real, but have to work with people against this, and something alarmed that the United States federal government should eliminate nearly all these domestic and export subsidies for grain off interstate cards themselves deliberately created economic influence and policy permitting no escape.
We need prep, and I need the plan. Oh, shit. Where's the plan? Where's the plan? Who inside the United States federal government should eliminate nearly all subsidies for grain?
The United States federal government should, the United States federal government should. If you want me to be more specific about that, I'm happy to.
Yes, please.
Okay. The plan text says United States federal government. When there's been debates about agricultural policy in the past, many of those have originated in Congress. So I guess I wasn't really that much more specific.
Not who has done things in the past. Who does the plan?
The United States federal government does
Okay,
the plan.
that's
Probably
fine.
Congress would do the plan.
Here's a list of corn subsidy programs. Will you read, presumably corn is one of the grains you cut?
Uh-huh.
Will you read aloud the subsidy programs you do not eliminate?
Read aloud the ones that we do not eliminate.
Please. There are 12. Which of them do you not eliminate?
Are these all domestic and export subsidies?
Yes. And if not, you can
Well,
certainly...
then we get rid of
Hey,
nearly
by the
all-
way, if they're
Go ahead.
not, you can obviously read them off because you know which ones are domestic and export.
No, that was actually my question. A few of these I probably wouldn't recognize as domestic and
That's fine.
export subsidies.
Okay.
Well, then I'm not very willing to take a stance on what the plan would do.
Then
relative
let me
to
ask you
these.
this.
If you had a
Without my list, what subsidies do you not cut
What
of domestic and export subsidies for grain?
the plan does not do anything.
Hey, what subsidies? It does, because you say nearly all.
Well,
You
the
cut
plan
all.
doesn't-
Hey,
the
do you
plan
cut
doesn't
all
not
of them?
do a lot of shit.
Ricker, do you cut all of them?
The plan
Okay. What
doesn't
subsidies?
cut subsidies.
What
It
subsidies do
eliminates
you cut?
nearly all subsidies.
What subsidies do you eliminate?
Domestic and export.
Which ones? You say nearly all. You cut
That's
all of
much
them?
more specification than is in the resolution.
Do you
Nearly
cut
all
of them?
domestic and export
Okay.
subsidies is
Nearly all.
Let's start here. Will you defend a decrease in agricultural support?
Defend a decrease in agricultural support. The plan eliminates nearly all domestic and export subsidies for grain.
Okay,
We
so-
will defend our plan.
Okay, wait, you don't have a plan yet. What do you eliminate? What subsidies do you eliminate?
Nearly all domestic and export subsidies for grain.
You don't eliminate all of them.
The resolution doesn't say, let's talk about the subsidies, the types of subsidies that are
Yes, it
eliminated.
does.
No.
It says whether or not the U.S. federal government should eliminate subsidies. You agree you don't eliminate all of them? Okay. Now, my next question is, which of the advantages are linked to overproduction?
The first advantage is based off of a supply reform response. We have a link to that based off of massive production inside of the United States, but that's not by any means the only link to the advantage.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, what are the links to the other two?
Our evidence indicates that when there are subsidies in place, it causes developing countries to use stopgap measures so they do things like or put up tariffs in the short term to prevent it instead of long-term agricultural solutions. That is based off of the signal of subsidies in existence, not off of the amount of it that goes in. The second advantage is based off of the perception of eliminating subsidies.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
We'll take one more. No. I'll find it for you next week. You have the two DAs? Yes, no? Okay. Okay, you ready? Okay, we're ready. Yep. How much time do I have left?
7 to 8. How much they left? 7 to 8.
I'm just. Oh, no. It's the sound. Alright. I have a lot of people to thank, and I don't want to take up too much time, so I just want to preface this with saying that I really can't thank everyone enough, thanks for coming later. I got to start with the Chunks. They've been with us for 4 years, and I can't imagine a worse way for them to go out in the doubles than having to block out with us, and I just want to thank them for everything. The rest of the team, they've just been incredible all year and offering us support. I want to thank our coaches who obviously have done everything to get us here. Ross, JP, Loudon, Andrea, Tay, Sean Luchtfeld, Gonzo, and Ridley. We had a lot of alumni and helpers come back and help us this weekend. I just want to mention them by name: Brad Hall, Jamie Carroll, Joseph Packer, Casey Harrigan, Christian Settlemeyer, Adam Abelkopf, Blake Abbott, Patrick Waldinger, Learn, and Coverstone all came back and helped us out this weekend, and really that made everything worth it. And it's really just incredible to have all these people with us and helping us out. I want to thank my family. Without their support, none of this really would have been possible. And I gotta thank Seth, who's been one of my best friends, and is an incredible. Sorry, I forgot David. He's another guy. Seth is, he's Seth. He's just been incredible, and I couldn't do it without him. Thanks. It's gonna be 9 off. Everyone laughs. Advantage 1, advantage 2. Expecting from this specified which agents that government must play be negotiated when it's desirable as possible analyze policy without discussing the implementation which got to base education by the government doesn't have policies only the agencies within it takes top teachers have conditionality to using correct implementation limited when teachers are placed at top course on the firm and president center and purpose 3 is ground agents determine core generic and specific ground like politics agent counterparts versus DA's department of teachers there next up is devil in the details a interpretations substantial meaningful word 996 for basing and being a meaningful considerable and at least requires a particular amount Cambridge no 3 always use printed to indicate a particular amount and indicates component part of Webster's no 4 use to indicate component to component parts use the first word to indicate the whole denoted by the preceding word and the indicates particular elements that we need in 9 the different articles of the indicating particularized elements of a species denoted by the noun and the active measure size and some domesticated actors and actors of the government can first benefit the evaluation the doesn't say which substances are limited to see reason to infer is one is zero it's possible to evaluate agriculture without detail show and some of the new policy and serious debate is far more the activity that the devils and the details about the program's function 2 is ground to lesson to avoid central topic the A3 so topic education most literature discusses about how and what we have to have force after conditioning and uncivil plan early in the debate screws the negative 5 is presumption they are our presumption must specify nearly all of which circumvention necessary and I think the law does not find nearly all so much of descriptive components and description nearly always over the entire spectrum debugging issue where we have to win it and to an argument that to get back to the ground zero we discarded this that they're no longer late. Next up is Vilsack. Subsidy cuts to George Vilsack and Jenna Martine and it would like to be 5 years ago from the next one formula and the interim Vilsack seems to attack for pushing our policy goals and Russians up in 3 specific disingenuous rules of belief governments from practice to turn America's food system upside down anytime soon. That's keeps global warming and species loss and our continues to have landmarks and species fragile species feels like it's significantly pollution sector add up the environmental issues they are sector agriculture particularly gas questions what the solutions extinction right burden 9 the ozone whole expanse of the global warming the production of the Pakistan as cultivation China the good down precipitous the oceans evaporate the plants die and runaway greenhouse effect the earth dies and the earth becomes a Mars and distillate with few microbes surviving protectionism eliminating farm substances cost of living macros right now and some of the most logical explanation farm substances of eliminating organisms and possibly the industry for the same kind of thing it does the all the different between the perception of reality is public large this results in protectionism and innocent decay the result of market loss of the psychological industry is affected by the friction loss of preserve the government for right protection of birds and just as the military significant success not to groups lots of support for protectionist policies the different procedures of reverse and citizens they are making regulatory policies and express national sentiments to provide cover or protectionist measures protecting system collapse of the global trading system and software show and also economic purposes of the nation the free trade not hesitant to support the industries that are trouble established in successful trade partners for some protections acceptable so repudiated laws and others will do literature trade partners for some loss to software collapsing the entire trading system and economics and global human rights and preventing terrorism is died and not with the suggestion that the report of the climate American software the policies for promotion of democracy and human rights and community across all limits of both the achievement against terrorism and new central premise for human policy human rights and the key to extinction of scope of 99 because we human rights and systematic poverty and violence and new systems for human rights and the top human sparkling in the United States will bring through human rights and foreign policy. Decoupling. The United States government should amend Title 1, Subtitle A of the Food Conservation and Energy Act doesn't remove the agricultural
agricultural use requirement of the provision of planting restrictions for fruits, vegetables, and water rice, or broad rice requiring payments for grain. These reforms to apply to payments for grain as long as the federal government ceases to elect direct payments, and the counterparts condition for the capitalist force and the subsequent not allowed to justify the plan logical prerequisite and all of their impact grades good education, and victim gross presumption remains negative. Counterparts legislation against the run ourselves our production calendar and of our potential for legislation payments and the production of the environment placement directive and social run of the longer run impact part and also based on with no payments at all. Ag sector. They collect high yield technologies, you bring the way the rights the agriculture's rights fund, the trouble, the current most of the world, outstanding agriculture's subsidies, the markets community, which is pretty safe, mountain, the improvements of the yields, the double of that, double against the office, the safety of hunger, and high yield keto hegemony. This is Pickford, and owing new civilization, likely to emerge with different global influence on the base of agriculture capacity, the master the emerging technology, likely to become more important than personal and loose less agriculture by tech and also nations, more important global position, globally, the workhouse, 95 years leadership, what do global providing non-political nuclear exchange politics. Hill confirmation will quickly pass this carrying 325. The notice meeting Hill has the most and express strong support for the only one that it comes sooner or later for the master of the state to put on before we need it now. Cutting farm subsidies for political capital self-love and 1216 the advocate for agriculture systems administration for nothing to do with political capital and personal institutions despite the bombings involved new work energy climate change political capital is key shore and the farm administration nominee has made a pretty friends with the Hill has said to make sure it's trouble dimming the intense political doctrine the concrete confirmation is Jackson reignition of Iraqi civil war cable and 9 the picture saying the gates of first order of the land and the investment converted Iraqi documented light and critical directions the U.S. position becoming some position of control the controlling the security gains of the search report getting over ambassador here during the moment of transition that versus resolution courts made in the 7 the American critical effect in the world of the United States do not have the link to the future for our political mission ability to push on the software depends on if now independently calls for World War III course in 7 if operating person and recommended to spinning the bridge of what the general attack the Israel and now the Russian because they did to win the back Russian positions in fact looking the US winning the regional war we got to involved in China go after one of the regional war easily recommend World War III. Next counterpoint. The state charter and territorial governments of the United States should implement a $1 tax on every dollar received from nearly all the domestic subsidies for grain. Next counterpoint. The United States federal government should maintain its agricultural support by limiting nearly all domestic and export subsidies for grain and redirecting money to the constantly improved international agricultural research. Observation one, the such quote is always an option or invented for our purpose of the capitalist portion does not justify the plan. Observation 2's perception remains negative. Observation 3 is the counterpoint is not topical violence or reduce the counterpoint and reduce the agricultural support for grain. B, reduce means to make smaller, the warehouse to not bring down to a smaller amount. Observation 4 is counterpoint repeats this mutually exclusive with the actual reduction implementations efforts of reduction increase and resolutions false resolution with the rest of the controversial policies directed and divides government topic could have said change act in order to adopt the new ag policy. This was and Green Revolution research is ag research is similar, and Green Revolution was stopped due to production of agricultural supports and commissioners. Observation 5 is counterpoint not beneficial results, famine and cattle, high yield agriculture, WP, and 08. Cigar was also a critical institution of Green Revolution, innovation, high yield, transformative, effective farming, optimum and victimized for the system, which objected to run a goodwill, also incentives to provide, and expanded yields of $22.5 billion for the hunger. The Green Revolution cigar could play an important role in the end of the year with slashes of proper basic research would do absolutely nothing. The United States needs a substantial renewed commitment. Next counterpoint. The United States federal government should establish and eliminate nearly all domestic and export subsidies for grain unless the death penalty is completely abolished at the state level. The counterpoint is conditional and presumption remains negative and it competes. A is a test of work resolved, which means a firm decision about American heritage. Dictionary testing resolution is key to predictable negative ground. B is any purpose of the part of the planned subsidy of elimination. C is to test the opportunity cost of subsidy developed the condition. Subsidy should be conditional on death penalty abolition work. And for Congress should be conditioned on spreading on the laws. New congressional and passed legislation the death penalty and the first oil of Congress to add a condition of legislation to impose the fall in the condition of spending more of the states will say no insurance the company social Chusky and for the American support of the total deputies politicians part of the politicians for the public wants here to worsen the diplomatic ideologies jeopardy possible jeopardy right abolition particular political values and non-political always have the right to no need to compromise but the condition solves international charges of duplicity de omega and forward to the state or the legislation could be derived from force and further funding to the situation to continue the president of the subject of the United States increasing the charges of duplicity internationally that's key to relations with Germany and all of Europe TW and the German politicians and the comments by one of the colleagues of the funding parliament should work for the Belgian death funding that's it, death funding all the EU states and also the mistake commissioner of the European centers of want to fail in Europe the against America that also Obama has removed the best many Europeans have solved the death penalty US-EU relations get solved by Tyrus Hamilton and three is all recommended Homeland Security should also be insulating the allies also major operations Europe is more likely to be consequential nuclear terror system and coordination is to risk extinction time for the next 7 nuclear weapons not be produced the pathogens that cannot be controlled the risk of locally effectively spread the intensifying the current environment more population US-German relations program war to create economic growth and also the significant German-American relations you cannot be overstated the chances led to alliance and producing unmitigated commitment to liberty and omniscient turning military implementation of the strategies of global growth.
No case, 10th off.
10th off.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Nobody knows what is good about reject the ass judgment, even who lose all life under Kirkland Dill. What? The Dallas majority man who plans to flip the horseman, neighbors, not point him until he's a all of our records, left the neighbors control of the students carry off the name of one man. When even one would recruit to judge the culture, not culture, not just enough the mistakes, and even events of even a policy simple six months inherently rare. The wise person is scarf based on people who are born with their life and intellectual changes, even from practices, the species that are moving hostages to you. They'll increase the toward nature of the creatures that change the punch, people that the simple event should be more involved from the life for responsibility. Want to make no effect to the nature of things that forms of life and would also be crying over those described as the me-seeks of the urge to check the purpose of the big responsibility to the immaturely and responsible for all. You know that maybe you were but hate out Hitler and saving it when the explained depression and also live the systematic extermination remains how people also get the action of truth also truth back to you look at people like this money do-gooders.
Unless you're not covered in the minute.
Is there an alternative to that last thing?
No.
It's just
you know, kind of
why
a
doesn't
presumption
that
argument.
apply? Why doesn't that apply to any of the other what was it 9 things you read?
What do you mean? It's a reason why you shouldn't take affirmative action. It's the negative doesn't.
Why is it good to solve extinction from bioterror?
Why is it good? To solve
Why is it
extinction
good
from
to solve
bioterror?
extinction from bioterror?
Obviously, it's an even exchange.
I mean, yeah, we obviously won't cover both those arguments. If you want me to actually answer that question in the context of the counterplan that we will actually go for, I can. Like,
Okay,
we
all
should go for
counterplans are
extinction.
conditional?
Yes.
2 of your impacts are hegemony, 2 of your impacts are related to high-yield agriculture. What's high-yield agriculture?
High-yield agriculture is like basically high-yield seed manipulations that allow people to grow more on the same amount of land with increased amounts of fertilizer.
Okay. Any evidence that says that they need more funding?
Yeah, the first piece of evidence indicates that they need more funding. I can't remember the exact version.
Obviously, the way this works is that the dissent card say if we lose the high yield we have now, we lose our hegemony. The other counterplan card says we need more high yield to solve famine.
Is hegemony high or low now, and is Iraq stable or unstable now?
Iraq is stabilizing and hegemony is going to survive.
Hegemony is going to survive. Okay.
Just barely.
But just barely.
Very delicate.
What are the U.S. and EU going to do to solve bioterrorism, and why is there an issue spillover between the questions of death penalty and terrorism?
Okay, well, in response to the first question, it indicates that they'll be able to share data and also work on joint operations in order to solve joint terrorist attacks. And then what was the second question?
Well, actually, just because you read so many, I need to know the net benefit. Is politics a net benefit to everyone?
No, politics is a net benefit to states and decoupling.
Okay, but nothing besides the internal net benefit is a net benefit to the state's death penalty one?
That's true.
Okay, and high-yield agriculture is a net benefit to the other 3, but not to the...
High yield agriculture is a net benefit to decoupling alone.
Just decoupling. Okay, what does that do?
Well, except for the built-in high yield stuff.
What does that do?
It decouples the subsidy.
Yeah, I know.
from
What does that
production. It basically means that they get the same amount of payments, but it is no longer linked to the amount of production. So
Okay,
it
so they get the same amount of money that's in
So
the
it
plan.
decreases the incentive to overproduce.
Okay.
And sends the same
Subsidies
signal.
weren't decoupled, right?
Not fully.
Not fully. Okay, so, well, that's fair. What are the subsidies? Actually, what are the actors of all of the counterplans?
What, the United States federal
How can
government?
you
United
possibly
States government?
specify
Okay.
any more
What-
than what you did?
Well, except
What are the-
for the states one, that's not the United States federal government. That's
Okay,
the states.
and nearly all subsidies, what are those?
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I actually am kind of serious.
You did it, so we're doing it.
You did it, so we're doing it. Okay,
Like
so
team-
because we said
How can we
okay,
possibly specify any more when you didn't tell us what you did?
I totally
We
agree.
just like
Okay.
agree that each
Okay.
spec's not really a big deal. So I really
No,
need to go
because
there.
if we're doing it because
So-
you did it, if we win that you doing it was inherently unfair, you lose the
But you
debate
got to
because
do
the
it
plan gets
anyway.
rejected.
Okay. That's right.
That is the honest argument I've ever heard.
Preparation.
I had this idea that I did last year and we started doing it with it, where I would write down what was going through during the session. Because I think a lot of people want to
Backlash.
Yeah. And then what was the reason for me to be a little bit more?
You have like non-people with us.
I'm worried about having my mind on Much of it is
What was the impact of that one? Sorry, it's just
Human
like
rights
global trade.
protectionism was global trade and soft power. The only terminal impact to it is human rights.
Okay.
What we get access is your democracy and terrorism.
Just actually comment on this. First of all, this is the animated symbol for audience friendly. I think the crowd
PC. Playing classes PC.
you might really you also might get half the females started or men.
Yeah, no, I know.
What am I at?
6:45.
I
Keyboard on my computer keeps on like. Yeah.
How long has it been?
Well, it used to be just like the P key and hyphen and zero would like cut out for like.
I think English is kind of spring for a new computer.
Well, it somehow this last week got so much worse. It's like I established hotkeys to account for those keys because they didn't work for a long time, and then the hotkeys stopped working.
Pretty bad. Now, how long has it been since you floated on paper? Is this like the first time in a while?
Oh no, I probably won other tournament this year. But no real reason.
First time.
computer stressed out with NDT last week.
Oh, and it's been really annoying to work on it. Just the last week. It's been.
You should just, for a second, and I mean, I would recommend using gloves, but for a second, you should touch Strauss's computer. It is, parts of it are falling off, can't turn on, can't turn off. I don't know how he does it. I mean, if I took my computer and threw it out the window, it would be in better shape than that.
You're having computer issues also?
Oh yeah, well, I've had them for pretty severe, like for the last week, just with the keyboard.
Actually, mine burned really good. Burns.
I've been pulling on paper the whole tournament as well.
It'll be just a second, then I'll get my stuff in order. I just want to thank a few people as well. I think Gregor kind of went through quite a few. I'd like to thank probably the same people, Dr. Harris, for doing so much, staying up, being crazy, slapping himself in the face, not crashing when he cuts cards and drives, stuff like that. It's all good. And then Dr. Rowland, Dr. Parsons supporting the KU program, making sure we get such great support at the University of Kansas. All of the assistant coaches that we had here this weekend. It's really too many for me to name right now. I don't think I'd be able to remember every one of them. Risk making some people angry. I really want to thank the people down here at Texas. It's always fantastic to come down here. It's much warmer than, say, going to Chicago for a tournament. I want to thank all the people on our team that did so much work. We had a lot of people here that weren't really debating at the NDT, but did practice rounds with us, cut cards. Everyone was just fantastic. And then finally, I want to thank my parents who've been here all weekend. My dad especially doesn't really even know what debate is. Judged one time and left because he didn't know what was going on. Or I had to ask the debaters what was going on in the middle of the round. It's right over there. Okay, I need to kind of get this in order a little bit. A-spec, subsidy spec, subsidy spec, the bill sec dissent, politics, Taoism, biotech, protectionism. Let's see, what was the order? Decoupling was the first counterclaim one, and then it was state tax was the second one. All right, CGIAR, that type of thing.
Yes. He called it biotech.
You did not. I did not want to give this to AC. And this one.
Expect we made the resolution says USMG solves all your ground arguments, plans to lead will solve all our evidence about the United States federal government counter-interpretation. You should read evidence about who plan to prepare a character speech reports and then read evidence. They have to do more research, can't just read high yield arguments all the time. Be someone who prevents educated plans without solving athletes, so still the after no ground lots skill read. All ground plans and stats crossing stretch records and Congress speed interpretations bad read. So immediate resolve subsidy specification here. At least argument is not about agriculture. All business after agricultural sports you should prefer. Our interpretation a little bit later. Affirmative still able to solve no reason why there would be a rollback. Yes, also the arguments we be playing. But specifies direct subsidies and export subsidies solves anything in the disadvantage better limit on things standard interpretation resolutional mandate we be resolutional demands limiting the ultimate subsidy increasing ground loss for any disadvantage products on top of the someone increase education guarantees progress substantial debate lead to bad debate and encouraged by their interpretation also justifies any number specification arguments counter interpretation have to specify export we mean domestic and export subsidies or keep PC USA from 8 to 5 the different types of subsidies are two main categories for subsidies given to farmers export subsidies and domestic subsidies and the comment after this war at the beginning but not restricted clause in the middle of the sentence means that subsidies resolution and export not domestic subsidy for 94 use commas is out of an non-restricted clause in the middle of the sentence non-restricted clause unless only something about something is visibility to not limit or restricted means well the non-restricted clause only something and it's not proposed possibility without there are different suspects and they are wrong about the grammar of B from Webster and say now that an article place you need to serialize the maximality of the object and refer the entire set of objects in the context and not the subset the formal definition with the indefinite article contains only existence presupposition the reason for previous someone increasing around broader links and balances limits best and someone is increasing education export now the subset topic also the grammar argument with all for evidence about get all words and huge app rentals in the NDT bill set motion tab between 5 bill set offers limits feature references everything like something with the back to nothing at all the chief concepts to prevent farm operations farm for a farm of course I'm always saying that after these problems on the farm after war make changes that they would probably change the agriculture itself turns with all your biotech arguments money review recycle heat about cycle force require 9 farm proposed based on major farm subsidy environmental groups and targeted direct payments as wasteful spending quality or law makes sure directly the conservation bills accident will be enough to help interview other priorities mainly new issues related to new issues food to children life backlash inevitable is NPR 9 largest sellers for another protection working front with $1 billion emphasis you're going to get a big political backlash for this you're going to invest in much political capital for small pay bottom line is safety net didn't work and he's not able to solve incremental change will solve always arguments and high temptation maybe to decrease the margins to try to get a bit out of climate friendly adding the working department one must work to the table price mobility non-competitive environment competitive markets and not just mitigate the effects 3 and a half degree increase in inevitable Barker King and 8 it's almost now certainly impossible to return more than 3.5 degrees Fahrenheit target looks to be out of range 30-year time gap from Barker King and 8 world will experience significant potentially high so I write up changes in climate over the next few decades, no matter what we do now. Politics. This probably contradicts our argument about protectionism, means that backlash inevitable. He doesn't have it, and there's not. Big ballot was about PC agreement 317. The big ballot will people led by the Obama team in this climate of anger will take every bit of political capital Obama's been doing to sell to Congress, and the public fights now are going to continue over ag subsidies. Rapid 327 500 subsidies just beginning despite a vote against. Yeah, about wood price workers episode of Fox will be the discussions about profit choices process is just starting. Obama's losing capital now, but Lancaster will win for business week 320. The most vulnerable and critical for making systems will transition to early wins with the political leaders credibility can be the presumption the momentum is building in positive directions. When translating significant deposits to new leaders political when banking comes capital which they can draw needed change and happen to spill over and to the president. It's forced to make the Congress view members of Congress members of Congress are not in the position to make trade-offs between policies. Congress considers policies without reference to other policies. Congress the political capability to examine two policies in relation to each other. No escalation in Iraq. Guarantee they will not become World War III. Not long ago, wars in the Middle East always went to the very communication of what's made the Middle East confrontation. The global confrontation have all been done in the East-West Cold War. It's finished. Go back to plain line in 118 and usually friendly and quiet. What's going to find lawmakers usually friendly and cooperative countries usually with some real action. Not affected by partisan move lawmakers of city and king sense today's political landscape. Along with begin with them usually have level approval rating this one competition is really this probably makes it all the kind of plans anyway would cause a massive amount of political capital, especially the states did something or anything that distracts from the budget down. Dallas should lose the NDT Lou and for the Dallas success always leads to failure. Each successful stage makes the next stage difficult. Inevitably results nothing feels like success. We should take the most lives from Michigan 96 people value of all rational beings being. Rising members of the bar eventually produce a flourishing correctional agency. Records of such beings is compatible with the sacrifice of some for the sake of the other person will take me even if someone presses having the person will take me cannot outweigh killing one. This still does not justify deontological constraints. This links all the disadvantages anyway. Everything they can go for a biotech subsidies will produce it as full from trying to Congress sometimes instead of it has pulled the right one on American ag and happening in the corn markets, the government meddling in agricultural market. Great form globally speed us all from saving service and building the resilience of countries and sexual responses during the households of the most important food security should form. Basic virtue of global peace strategy, achieving food security would require striking revitalizing ag sector in developing countries, and food speculating would include confident and implementing crop yields would increase unpowerful countries trying to deal with the neighbors, better organized countries would attempt to use harvest before they develop well part there. This would be a worldwide farm to complete the third. More biotech practically increase pesticides, leading monoculture from material and two very significant environmental problems supported by environmental scientific and ultra biotech to Pacific petrochemical reliance and hotspot diversity herbicide tolerance to the most. GM trade is indisputable effects on the transmission of petrochemical reliance and biodiversity is much multi-causal and greater genetic imitation really express the threat of monoculture is biological diversity, monoculture leading to extinction power, and I do think it's equal catastrophe to the miseries unfolding while we are concerned about the equally devastating time almost taking away the field. Genetic diversity in ag is leading us to rendezvous with extinction pesticides, leading to extinction monoculture and national biofuels and toxins are multiplied soon after the food chain the result is destructive insides or cooling compounds. One of our uses of toxins, lead events are given to wildlife. The old way is completely irrelevant to continue this and will lead to extinction of humans kills. 12 farmers are freezing because they've paid up for at times as much as biotech see the opposite of falling farther and the dead is an overriding problem among small farmers that need to policies that even farmer dead address consequences. The USDA found no economic benefit from farmers growing. The enemy station voice of long-term pursuit will develop small farms that needs to grow inversion and crop genetic diversity policies to support a matter of human survival. So which been enormous crop diversity being worked out as astonishing. No impact ahead from land states. This not so easy to be responsible because we're explaining to domestic audience what the U.S. is must intervene to reach from marginal strategic area. Why was that before there was any obvious threat to U.S. interest? The plan is first to be able to solve hegemony anyway because we allow for the United States to increase its perception of globally protectionism and subscribe the plan is able to solve for hegemony. We are liberal. Measure we have able to take out the legal alternative costs out is like trying to crack down probably make human rights rates inevitable protectionism makes it increase takes out any impact really 323 protectionism is on the market for provoking national trade issues and everybody efforts fully coordinated response to these global economic actors of World War II. Counterplan 1. Deal with no way they're able to solve the acting is someone who now makes it repeatedly denied to be able to solve a perceptive advantage to be someone who's also solving perceptive limiting subsidies free intellectual operation of world in the third world see someone knows all pricing and permutation do all permutation into counterplan B it would be a delay to be able to solve and decoupling doesn't solve massive body coupling for being subsidies and such mechanisms some refer to markets or catering income to produce it to use the term broadly to include the environment some being coupling is accessible for the long run impact and output at least to overproduction rate 5 farm babies and 3 box will do little to ever increase the level of U.S. farm production, one of the reasons the rate of negotiation of one of the payers the rebox and believe in such a thing are reduced. U.S. production states tax permutation will do both permutation to the counterplan farmers and 8 from Chronicus and 1 payments of effect of farmers not compliance government payments increase the economic incentive for not compliance by increasing benefits associated with the record bank given that not only so weighted by the accountability which is less than 1 though a record bank government payments of producing behavior dominates and increasing government benefits will increase both benefits of the company also not compliance but will increase the benefits by relatively little fits safety not as bad as not predictable including lots of bad odds no reason would have substantial debate change they've never done this before so it's not for the world voter the third counterplan CGR presumption still says negative if they are defending a counterplan they should not be able to be vaulted to decide what does disprove that the affirmative affirms the resolution permutation to both permutation to the counterplan CGR is fully funded from DDFID and A to actually World Bank is $10 million to your IET and 70 IET is recently completed meta evaluation of CGIR 50 million a year completed unrestricted by CGR TIAR currently receiving 40% of the developing grants going to global progress of the banks and net income counterplan 4.
Permutation the offset counterplans are legitimate.
offset counterplans are legitimate. It shouldn't be able to include the entirety of the plan. It makes it impossible for us to read out as regenerated the opposite counterplan. It's a voter less counterplan. Permutation to both, permutation to the counterplan, permutation to the plan, and ask the state to abolish the death penalty, permutation to the plan and condition, no abolishing the death penalty and other subsidies and test agricultural scheme condition counterplans are valid on a two-way ground and disadvantage, and they can't be only affirmative outweighs the death penalty. Has no benefit. There's no reason why they're able to solve the death penalty globally or why it's able to solve the United States. The affirmative is able to solve the impact anyway. There are several, and generally in terms of the counterplan, the United States is able to win hearts and minds or perception or anything. It's a declaration of war. There's so long and easy. We've had the death penalty for a long time. All kinds of the U.S. and EU relations 878 line calls. These streets are different policy goals and priorities and process of watching copies of our former treaty be violent to new food products protection and audio visual sector and hair. Hodgkins are rooted in different regulatory approaches as well as social grievances, aviation disputes, TNN 320 of the EU. As it's by support the U.S. and efforts to de-rate the translating aviation market dangerously impaired threatening to the U.S. We get district about language attaching to link to online global alliances and cooperation resource peace process mill in 3 Europe and America will fight for the revitalization of the peace process working in tandem. The U.S. will be a better position to force these realists to abandon West Bank settlements and nuclear war, whereas in 97 the creation of Palestine is effectively reinstated is more likely effectively encourage war terrorism. The creation of Palestine could even spawn exchange of nuclear weapons all cause. That's how water habits from Hooligan and Hewlett in 313 Chile, Italian mineral waters everywhere in Italy is being highly hit disproportionately by the new 70 case of increase in employment with deputy of the country, the authority to impose terrorists. This is extremely rare. Most of the cases out before you actually reach a stage of effective relations with American activity to American policies before engaging in area of mutual concern in areas such as rendition of terrorist peace to avoid policy and ensuring the European universally instructed American policy European leaders to craft use and check on America's global power. Process.
Okay. I'm going to start just by getting, can I get?
Yeah, it should all be right here.
No, I was actually going to ask you to write down permit text.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll take as much time as necessary.
Okay, I think it's permutation do both, permutation do the counterplan,
Wait,
all of them, except, those are the only two on all of them,
Okay.
except the fourth counterplan, which is
Why don't we
those.
just go through them one by one?
Okay, first counterplan.
The only one that has anything other than do both and do the counter plan is the death penalty one?
Yeah.
Okay, can I get the perms that are not one of those two for that counter plan? And we're involved with
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
I know,
that's what
I know.
was
I'm
gonna
saying
say.
that's fine.
Permutation, do the plan, and ask the states to abolish, and the United States federal government should ask the states to abolish the death penalty. And then do the plan and condition other subsidies on abolition of the death penalty.
Condition subsidies.
Sorry, yeah, subsidies.
Condition subsidies. Sorry, that was.
Yeah, so it makes
Can you write it
textual
down?
sense.
Sorry.
Can you write this right? Or, yeah, that one. I got it. Did you get is the first one okay or do you need that too?
Just spread them both.
Okay.
How much is the extension?
The states, I mean, of course.
Yeah, understood. Okay. What is your internal link to global hegemony? You said that the plan solves.
Oh, perception of the United States so that we are able to have influence over the other countries. There were a
So
slew.
it's purely based on influence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's
you
the
also
one.
say
That's the one you see.
Okay.
ability
You
to
also
solve
say
the
you
United
solve
States
protectionism. Is that also a soft power internal link?
issues. Sorry, what was that?
You
It's
say you
not
solve
just
No.
no.
Okay. Then what is it?
Sorry.
Influence, anti-Americanism. Those things aren't necessarily just soft power.
Well, what is what is
Our
the
evidence
decision?
indicates that because of the United States' great subsidy housing retaliation in specific places, those specific places are IPR. So in the context of like, yeah, people are mad at us, that's the advantage, but it's not just like what the debate believed was soft power.
Okay, how does cutting grain subsidies solve for things like the war on terrorism, which is what you're in?
Yeah, our evidence is pretty specific, saying it loses hearts and minds. It's like a declaration of war on the so-called developing world.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
What card, the card you read on states from '01, what does that say?
Taxes don't solve.
Why not?
People don't think they're going to get audited, and usually they don't.
You put together the politics to a seat.
How much prep do I have?
640 right now.
640?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just take your time.
Ag sector, was that the biotech?
Yeah, biotech.
Yeah, I need that list.
Here's biotech. That's an ag.
How many kind of nothing there, baby?
I think this is number 3. Kentucky versus Northwestern.
And
Did you read? That's a question.
did you read
Here, what was this, your second one? Is your second one here?
No.
Does do vote from the death penalty? Hey, Nate, does do vote from the death penalty or do you do it regardless?
Just do both.
What does that mean? Does that mean do, like you do the plan on
The
one?
plan does not say unconditional or now.
Got his church
So-
and then
Yeah.
it began.
Yeah, can you give
They just asked.
yeah.
That's fine.
Do you say conditionality data?
No.
Okay. You don't say fix or anything else. Do you make any of the arguments other than offsets and conditions back? And states back? Those all, that's fine.
Well, the offsets are continuously applied, so there's a lot of kind of, any kind of plan includes the whole athlete.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is kind of,
Yeah.
no, I didn't take any.
I'm missing a couple, like maybe more.
What was that? Was it more like access now?
Specific.
If it's just no site cards, I don't need it. I just need the generic like tags.
Oh. That was just lots. Okay. Let me try to find it. I'll bring it up.
I'm ready.
345?
Yeah, 341.
Whichever is fine. I don't know.
What's the difference?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I'd like to thank the University of Texas for a great NDT. Don't really know what could be improved. I'd like to echo Lynn Ball's thanks to the Chungs. I mean, it's just brutal. There's not much to say about it, but everybody loves the Chungs. The rest of the team, SS coming here with us, MS, the whole weight team couldn't be more helpful. Jamie and Brad, who at least to my mind, defined this era of weight debate with their work ethic and attitude, and you just couldn't ask for two better guys coming to help out. David and Coverstone coming out, who each define their own eras. And Ridley, glad we got another year of you. You're just the best there is. Gonzo is as eager and hardworking as someone could be. Tay just never complains about anything, does as much work as anybody. Nice guy, makes you feel better. Sean Luchtefeld, a great friend as well as a great coach. Andrea is just invaluable as our personal coach. If we've done anything this year that you have liked at any moment, you should pass your thanks on to her because she's been responsible for 99% of it. JP is one of the smartest, kindest people in debate. If you don't love JP Lacey, I don't love you. I don't know how anyone could debate for someone other than Ross Smith. Ross is the smartest, most gruffly loving person there is in all of debate. And as I like to say, any of these people would be here without Loudon. Dr. Loudon's the best, and the support we get from the Wake Com department, and Casey, Harrigan, and Settlemeyer, and Dinger, and Packer, and David Loring, and Adam Abelkop, and Blake, and Paul Johnson, and Sarah Spring, and a billion people I'm forgetting. Thank you all for your help this year and previous years. My parents for their support, Frank Seaver, Ed Williams, and Paula Nettles, who put up with me back when I dropped even more stuff than I drop now. Kansas, I've always enjoyed debating you guys. You're the best. Bricker's my hero. I like Johnson even better. And thank you to Dr. Harris, who's always been super supportive of us and has always been a nice guy, but like the rest of you, he's been wrong every time he's voted against us. I've told the story too much. I really have to stop here, but I just go on and on. Alex told me to come to Wake to debate together. Best decision I ever made. I would do it with him no matter what. It's been the most fun I've ever had. Thank all of you for the best 8 years I could ever have. I love debate. And counter plans. Decoupling, then states, then offsets, then death penalty, protectionism dissent, no problem. States, offsets, death penalty, then protectionism, then ag sector, and then VILSEC. Protectionism, ag sector, VILSEC, absolutely.
Okay, one last time. Decoupling states, the cigar counter plan, death penalty protections applied by VILSEC?
Yes, sir. And that was it. Decoupling not going for the person just does competition, the rest of the arguments are irrelevant, everything else states counterplay the burden to develop links to the politics, this that takes federal government credit will, explain why this counterplay doesn't link on the other flow, burden to counterplay the severance, you're starting to lose the 1MC strategy, can't start to make the egg blocker, the limit term, the 1 hour side fair, nor constitute class, that's a voting issue everywhere, severance is a voting issue everywhere, they say taxes don't solve with the counterplay's real world, counteract federal spending, layer 1, policy-based Washington, consider additional federal spending, key bombers overlook many states, take reactionary actions, raising taxes from counteract, we get federal stimulus policies, all the taxes approved, couple of 1 must be announced, the taxes from the outset, get subsidies, any tax outset, get general spending, and same person going to vary, one state exercises against federal subsidies, oil, 1 AC process, damning here, he says the advantages are signal-based, there's no one in the world who would think we still have subsidies after the states tax them away, 50 states, one interpretation, they only gets non-topical counterplans, just proving the resolution fair and predictable, act was justified federal reduction in subsidies. 2, we don't just substitute agents, the counterplan action is totally different. 3, you are not the USFG, but an aware citizen who studied the world, conclude the best agent to act any. Other view is psychotic disregard for reality, debate is a think tank, 4, functional limits, federal justification, that's a huge topic. 5, make flexible, intrusion, error, counterplan, domestic topic, we needed the aspects first and last more. Princess topic of the debate, 6, education, 1, 6, debate, about more thoroughly fleshed out, as well as perception questions, policy, counterplay, state commitment, debate. 7, it states isn't a surprise. 8 is the plan requires hundreds of agents, they don't have a presumption. 9, that benefits competition, check. 10, protect the team, discourages creativity, only reject the argument. Now, offsets. Basic presumption doesn't go negative. This is illogical because we are less changed given that we've not used agricultural support. They say because the tie goes to the runner because they have to justify it when they say firm do both. One is firm, so saying that topical, even if firms can include extra. Topical work will come to the counterplan. There are reasons to vote AF only if the combined policy still reduces support or if no logical reason exists to vote AF. it's safe for them having to be topical too. It's severance first must be topical. The act severance is necessary for the plan topicality just because it's implicit. There's no predictable target left for the neg. Severance is a voting issue. 3, it's mutually exclusive with the reduction in the plan. If it's not in the plan, the app is topical. 4, no advantage doing both. The app has the burden of justifying resolution of action. Presumption goes neg. This was the 1 and C counter plan above. And 5 is the counter plan is not include the plan. It only includes the kind of policy the app implements, not the quantity or direction. 6 is ignore. There are appeals to this their ground. There can't be an argument in this theory debate. Since the very purpose of the theory debate is to settle whose ground is whose. They make the question. 7, it's ignore. Even if it shouldn't compete, it does. This is the resolution's fault, not ours. Seriously, stop writing resolutions that say increase and reduce if you don't want to debate these kind of counterplans. 8, this is the play can be done in the world of increased support. Bruce the app is dodging the question asked by the resolution only topical by virtue of an implicit absence of new assistance. 9, it's if the firm is the counterplan, that just means you vote negative for an increase in support. All of these answers apply to do counterplan as well, Bruce. It is separate. If they say the World Bank is making card, doesn't matter. The counterplan is necessary to reverse devastating cuts in U.S. funding. Houston, way to potentially devastating cuts in U.S. aid funding. Cigar states in the student food security, the world U.S. global rate, stocks, prices, and low results, unprecedented increase in grade price, across African nation, the U.S. reaching price, food prices, critical issues, multiple time U.S. investment aggregation funds, critical to government-based funding and international research centers, we encourage Congress to make it priority by flexibility, encourage Congress to include cigar funding as priority. That is modeled internationally, guaranteeing solvency. Peterson, USA draws funding the cigars and omnibus measures of the Congress Foundation, for long-term funding and success of cigar consumer research to compromise U.S. scientific capacity, research access to international journalism, necessary long-term, non-improvement breeding efforts. They have no solvency deficit. This kind of plan means 1% risk for net benefit, which they've conceded. Billions starved because of the war. That means we outweigh. They say offsets bad. They've not made any res focus arguments. But 1, this plan still to be topical. If there's an implicit preservation of the status quo, there's no net reduction in support. 2, is they destroy all hits on the resolution, even if the plan is focused on the debate. There are no different from half which debates on the topic. U.S. federal government should change staff policy. 3 is the one that's the cross-section presumption here, because you will not even say that defend reduction action support. You should presume they are not topical. Counter warrants and hypo testing are different, maybe illegitimate for reasons unique to them. They were just scare warrants thrown out by the 1AR in a few minutes, and res focus doesn't justify counter warrants. They can be proved true by one example. We debate only their plan. We don't say other reductions are bad. We just say the topical example they have chosen does not actually justify net reduction. And hypo testing, in the sense of multiple conditional neg arguments, is not unique to resolution focused debate. It's been conceded to be good by the 2AC, and we are policy focused. We just say that after the judge decides what the best policy is, they ask, is that policy topical? If yes, vote app. If no, vote neg. They say it includes the plan. This is above how they take the question. It's not inherently their ground. It does not. It's the kind, but not quantity or direction. They say that they can't get any kind of offense. That is not true. They just must justify a reduction. This is redundant with all the arguments above. No reason to be a voting issue. Logically. States. States. That's silly. State definitely. The counterplan uses grain subsidies as leverage to pressure the states on the death penalty. The plan and perm sacrifice this leverage by eliminating the states will refuse, guaranteeing that our counterplan solves the case. But the counterplan's conditional pressure reverses the perception of federal duplicity, ensuring good relations between Obama and Europe. The impact is bioterror outweighs little a probability and time frame. They reproduce, grow geometrically with nuclear weapons, and environmental damage should not be magnitude. No nuclear winter, sector 6, 7, 6, 7, 4, coming, nuclear. Winter existence is an airbrush animation by VR firm, most non-computer plans, inflation, non-computer, non-computer, single subsidiary cases, built in average point, down the side of the world is made up. They have conceded war is inevitable without U.S.-German relations independently. That's Tip 07, death penalties, key codes. That's DW08, perm do both. There's zero solvency. Passing the plan, whether or not states abolish the death penalty doesn't pressure them. Only conditioning funding on the death penalty solves perception of U.S. duplicity. That's the Vega. A legitimate signal is key. Europe is skeptical, measuring Obama by tough standards. That is TW08. It's mutually exclusive. You can't pass it and withhold it simultaneously. And if the firm doesn't do the plan unconditionally, it severs the plan. Cuts subsidies no matter what the states do. The firm severs any scenario in which the states abolish the death penalty. Conceded the word should and resolve make the plan definite according to the conceded 1 and 2 definitions, or it is not topical if they can permute it in this way. They want to see cross-sex establish the plan was definite. T, oh, that's not true. Scratch that argument. T is a voting issue, or else they can always win a new unpredictable laugh severance. It's a voting issue. That's a problem. Leverage is key to signal bid or for anyone hopes to change policy needs to be able to identify exactly where his interests stand, hopes to rank leverage influence favorite developments of death penalty policy. The truth will leak if they do it regardless. Wilson, 98 American governments leak is the wrong bureaucracy, Congress, White House, regularly leaks from guys who are unable to get any secret each minute government convenes make the other look bad. Obama makes this especially true. So Lisa, wait, Obama's in leak proof control by voting somewhere a long time. Democrats are familiar with Washington for right reasons. Delegate leaks all about agreement on one thing. Weakness of white to Washington do. Both can mean a million different things. Nate wouldn't tell me what it does when I asked him. It's new clarification of what I argues new. 2 in our answers, or it means it's intrinsic, which also moves one its strategy and is an impact to the Obama time frame. Either the plan passes immediately and is not linked to state policy, or the perm delays, which severs the word should. Summer 94, the legal question what the word should be. The name percent A and percent A knows laws immediately effective. Opposed to saying that will become effective in the future. They say perm new counterplan, all the combination arguments rule this is severed. They say perm call for an end to the death penalty. It solves nothing. Only conditioning funding on the death penalty solves perception of U.S. duplicity. That's the Vega. It's intrinsic. The counterplan just conditional plan on abolition doesn't make rhetorical calls or demands, which the perm adds. That's a voting issue above, and it's not justified. Logic firms make any counterplan not competitive by mischaracterizing it. Leverage just get a signal that's been done before above. The ambiguity and dishonesty of the firms makes them unconstitutional. The court will strike them down as rich. Negative 2, the courts have professional power to strings of federal money with a clear statement rule. Legitimacy of the court's power rests on whether state law narrowly knowing the substance terms of the contract and being unknown the substance states unaware of the conditions unable to ascertain expected. If Congress stands opposing condition federal monies must do so unambiguously. It's empirically proven with farm subsidies. I'm right. Oh, 5. One farm's argument that Congress not constitutionally linked farm subsidies whether the preservation failed. The condition of South Dakota more than majority held consistent for somebody constitutional appellate. Work on the final condition that the state in its text should be unambiguous existed. It's a side constraint Carter 87 constitutionalism nor importance to process the autonomy. People is the ultimate end. No violation of means people have approved and the Constitution be justified through reference to the policy itself as an end. They say permanent and leverage another issue. This is intrinsic at the counterplay nor the plan with leveraging another issue. That's in fact above is not justified and makes any counterplay not competitive. That's above its vague. If they don't specify what issue they leverage, it's possible to differentiate the counterplay. Killing their ground, even if they do, is more clearly intrinsic. Even if intrinsic is justified, you should vote on the reciprocal counterform to condition both. Choose the strongest, most credible option because we don't know just how tough Europe's scrutiny is. That's NDT09. They say condition counterplays are bad. That'll be in the 1 in R. Doesn't solve the death penalty globally. Doesn't need to. It's not death penalty bad. It's a signal argument, which is why we solve the case. They say the absolute the impact. No, they misunderstand the impact. It's not death penalty bad. They say no link because we've had it for a long time. Our evidence indicates Obama used to be a key signal because they're testing him to see whether he continues long-time American policy like the death penalty. We don't have to eliminate it to solve. We just have to display to the world that he is moving against it in some way. They say no impact to USEU. They see the bioterror scenario. That cooperation necessary. They don't make there's no solid just spillover argument in these speech because you just disregarded that is impacted above. They say aviation dispute. There's no defense doesn't matter if there's any risk assaulting trying to the case you vote for us. And they consider that the unique scenario for Obama is the death penalty. That's why our evidence vastly outweighs states. And they say peace process, no Middle East war, Maloney attack, the 7 Saudis, Iranians, Jordanians, Syrians, I think the war, Middle East religion, primarily interest, self-preservation, many forces inherently risky, conflict, backward, threatening, national stability, our air, environmental security, regime protection, other protective power, no present for air leaders, forces, complex, they are directly involved. And it's empirically 9, Drum 07, this is nonsense, it's true of all war after wars, all the original complication, Iran, Iraq, one police wars, 20th century, 75, Afghanistan, US, from the Gulf War, Algeria, from the Civil War, no regional conflagration. You should prefer our impact as they conceded in these probabilities 100% Barris. He's a total hack. It doesn't make any sense. He just wants to scare tactic people away from the peace process. They say ultimate causality. That's what's above on aviation protectionism. Not going for the counterplays, we're going for a link as well. We can see if fiat solves the link, then it is permanent. That is why the condition counterplay competes, even if we lose all the arguments I made on that counterplay. I will take prep time. Hey. I'm ready.
Oh, was that all your prep?
Absolutely.
Okay, some of these theory arguments don't make a whole lot of sense to me. Why do firms have to be topical?
They have to be net topical because the reason you vote F is that the plan proves the resolution true. Which is
and you said something that's not in the plan means the plan's not topical. What was that argument?
Well, the point is that the plan is only topical if it is a net reduction of ag support, whether that is implicit or explicit in the plan.
Why is CGIAR good? You said high yield, right?
Yeah, well, we read evidence that we need more high yield to solve things like famine and potential war scenarios.
Okay, so it's not like we really conceded this.
What?
Nothing. 50 states, when have the 50 states taxed probably like several $1 billion of United States subsidies before?
It doesn't matter whether they have or not.
You said it's real world. When have they taxed anything with agriculture subsidies?
What do you mean?
When has there been a time that the states
use taxes all the time.
subsidies?
We read real world evidence that they've done it with energy policy.
What does that mean? Like when? Can you explain this?
We read evidence that oil subsidies by the federal government were offset by state taxes on oil companies, which is exactly what the counterplan does for agriculture.
So taxes like ADM and Cargill and stuff?
The counterplan?
Yeah.
Just taxes away the subsidies, so it takes away the same money the plan takes away.
From the companies?
Sure.
Sure. Is that what the counterplan text says?
The counterplan implements a $1 tax on every dollar received from the subsidies.
Tax on who?
The people, whoever is in receipt of subsidies. The subsidies come by the plan. If you receive if Ed Lee receives $1 in subsidies from the subsidies eliminated by the plan, the counterplan taxes that dollar away.
You don't think that this would probably cause some stir in Congress?
Not that Obama would take blame for or derail his agenda. The link to the political capital of this ad is about Obama's ability to get through the agenda.
Why haven't United States EU relations collapsed via Bush
agenda.
and keeping the death penalty with him?
What?
Why didn't relations collapse with?
Our DW08 evidence says that it is only because of their false expectations of progress with Obama that they will be so disgusted when they are let down. The relations will collapse. They had such low expectations with Bush to begin with.
When did they expect Obama to cut the death penalty?
They don't expect him to cut it.
Are
They don't
relations
think it's
high or
stand
low
against
now?
him. What?
Are relations between the United States
Because
and Europe?
Obama has not taken a stance against the death penalty,
They're in trouble?
Uh-huh.
That's the only reason?
Our evidence says so. Our evidence says that is the key reason on which they have overly high expectations they did not have with Bush. And it is their
Okay, how do
letdown
they
from
solve
that.
bioterror? How does the United States European Union solve bioterror?
The evidence talks about how without relations between the two and cooperation at all levels,
Who's going to attack?
what? Who knows? Those attacks are inevitable as demonstrated by the 1AC.
You said, didn't you read a Mideast war impact?
We read an evidence that says Iraq activates Central Asia.
Yeah, Middle East escalation, just so we're all.
Okay.
It's going to be ag sector.
Actually, real quick, I need the 1AC, Human Rights Commission. We can take it.
Do you have the one?
The Human Rights Commission.
You mean the
Yeah.
This is one.
What are we looking for?
The Negev Desert.
Yeah.
I don't believe I have it.
Oh, actually. That's subsidized.
I don't think we have it.
Okay. Yeah, it might be. Sorry.
Should I?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. It doesn't make that. I saw something with that energy. This one.
Yes. Okay, it's going to be the biotech ag sector DA, then the Vilsack DA, then the counterplan on the theory, and then the Obama DA.
You say it again, Alex. I'm sorry.
Or ag sector, Vilsack, counterplan, and then Obama.
Can you tell me which counterplan?
The one. Seth, which is the condition?
The death penalty.
Definitely. Let me get it. Ready.
Actually, you're just not going forward. The links to all the counterparts which we saw well, it turns out that like you said, we're also not going forward except across the organisms and entities that those like credibility is all which means that there's no impact on the terms the agriculture types and everything argument will begin from the politics is not the counterplan first. On the theory, there's no link. The counterplan doesn't condition the plan, which conditions all the substances no different than Northwestern or any other sustainability counterplans do. Is policy analysis the counterplan controls better for subsidy, policy rational decision making is best education and the provides will use for the rest of our life story is issuing subsidies to pressure states at the heart of foreign policy and states done all the time of menace and of our government's ability to use the Spanish conflict encourage the adopted certain policies and physics circumstances like issue partial self violence and infamously coercive support. This always fairness is possible measure single arguments impact on the overall quality. The game is global and globally fair and also as far as the imbalance in the past debate is found in this education 5. Counter-competition counterplan must system plans opportunity cost and totally conditional on domestic actors guarantees predictability quality success domestic subsidy 6 is negative flexibility external conditions are necessary to make new affirmatives and capture the unpredictable add-ons we need to the outspiece first and most gets focused on the entire case area 7 is a custom resolution resulting should require different action according to what you can see to see definitions this is predictable for both sides and he's the topic for negative ground 8 is probable 6 often CFC affirmative guarantees often based on delay and 8 tracking down 9 is literature limits of potential counterplans to listen to their etc. Wines 10 is safety federalism research and therefore every team should have be able to say conditional federal spending guide 10 is hard to get good for security QCs to make debates more fun and they also have to prove that the counterplans is possible for the affirmative to otherwise we're just doing our job and 11 rejecting the argument is the only logical option rejecting the team discourages creativity and discriminating is the only fair way to definitely create theory. Now the Obama just said ways the case first of all magnitude this is huge war in the Middle East that is the most probable scenario for escalation additionally it's the most probable impact because it is unstable now additionally the information hearing is ultimately key additionally the time frame it's going to happen in 5 days whereas none of the case impacts are all empirically not also terms of case because it would have massively involved boardrooms to all the impacts they say that it contradicts with protectionism just out of we're not going for those keeping the 2 NCDs that may be a lot however political proposal high more list or something more months December 18 through 29 regardless of what protectionist policies could do are often massive first expensive of the election screen. As right now, IPC had not put the stock market like sauce like this is South Florida Senate on the 325 president said, the also stock market political government also more silent because we're going to let the Congress question won't protect him from the policy, from the policy. Additionally, top of the document has confirmation Senate 3, this is person 325. The Harris of the government 5% of the job is going to be vote next week. This is literally 5 days away. This is Highline 318. The confirmation hearing is scheduled for 325. Additionally, they say that subsidy cuts now. However, the pressure for the subsidy cuts will be completely ignored. This White House bulletin at 3:30. The Democrats are coming for return the subsidy cuts and all 301 of the return might be ultimately be ignored. And Democrats and farm states will save agricultural subsidies. Miller and 326 please stops between one of the critics of Democrats and Democrats from the state unless conservative laws support the lawmakers and manage the agricultural Obama will ultimately want to eliminate and Obama's backing off that was some purpose. 9. The administration appeared to have accepted that to allow these direct payments to the farm subsidies that crunch and most of the LFS cycles that would reduce the idea the absolute benefit to children seeking after farmers and women today. On many occasions, Obama will push it to many of 326. The operating will ultimately put together big issues and moments that he's ultimately flexible on the idea. But whether to eliminate direct payment like maybe it's assumptions they say that the plan is win. However, AIG will empower Obama. This is one around side in 09. The lens of conservative companies to back in the power of the prayers for elements of the initiatives successful government institutions of the Congress of the scandal. We're confident in the overall policy and President Obama will ultimately for the posters correct their WC. The environment AIG will for Obama. This is CBS Nation 333. The rest of the just got high marks for yourself in the performance and the economy 40% of the discipline of the handling of AIG is over top of the performance of the AIG fallout and overloading the agenda will end with a Congress Bloomberg in 390. Obama said these words between the start of the whole capital field by the protocol for first exceptional too much you should be mistaken with judging about the capital well, and over the Congress and Congress must have done. Otherwise, additionally, all of our links prove that it's not a win for him. Additionally, capital's fine out this crisis in 319 multiple strategy pretty unclear, and we'll seize the opportunity of the crisis. We'll seize the opportunity of the crisis to turn popularity, start to perishable funding, and this especially for companies and popularity. And crisis vote in the world we see. They say there's spillover. However, yes, spillover going to one more reference to formulation policy, and only a couple of part of our person correct this because generally only groups that respect my policymakers says such a compromise specifically true in this instance. One of capital's key 825 in the corner. The Obama choice in the corner of the small band of the 2% of the church of Congress will start with the 30 to hold back them and not be so much effort now the 2% of Congress should go to the more evidence of capital's key. This is beautiful collectively 13. And by his brewing of the Capitol Hill and forward with the terms of lined up to solve the appointment.
Did you answer no impact to hegemony on the ag sector?
No.
Will you do that now?
Yes. There is an impact to hegemony. Our close evidence indicates this key to nuclear war as well as all of our European relations impacts indicate that South America is necessary to solve multiple scenarios for nuclear war. Now back to the other dissent. They say that there's no escalation in Iraq. Of course, every 2.1 indicates that it's necessary to Iraqi stability. Additionally, kills diplomacy is key to prevent escalation. Carrying 325. There are few diplomats in the more expensive capital negotiating complexity was one of the top negotiations in the court. Will person the 6 meaningful accommodation of offensive American bachelor towards violence. Additionally, for our evidence because their evidence is strong too and doesn't assume the current situation. They say that there's no backlash. However, that's not specific to the current policy. Additionally, our link outweighs because our evidence is specific to Obama, and it is from a couple days ago, which means it assumes the current political situation, additionally cutting subsidies, best solutions, capital disaster, our China, and also the administration and land reform by the Department of Representation of states in the Senate. Also, after legislative resistance, discussions of the Senate, also the Senate, the Chamber of Representation, substantial discuss ideological political government dynamics in the field. Will external change. Additionally, our link outweighs this debtor in a way that wants to cut subsidies, and if too much interest group will do grow this legislation, the lawmakers historical lines of the group will lawmakers predict the average applaud more than 80 million in the lobby purposes the issue community circle was run this to help create a powerful alliance in the farm difficult challenge about how to ensure all the work was legislative from the bomb. And if I have separated their last argument is that at least all the counterplans are just linked to decoupling of the state's counterplans, which is like one that is not benefit to.
States wouldn't kill Obama's credibility.
And states wouldn't kill Obama's credibility.
Okay, can I get your evidence? Okay, I just need one card. Your evidence that you said it's coming in 5 days, or whatever. That means a confirmation. Yes, just make sure that Simon wasn't the guy right before.
The order is the biotech dissent, the CGIAR counterplan, the state taxation counterplan, the state death penalty counterplan, the politics dissent. Yeah, Nathan, I'm going to run to use the restroom, that's okay.
Yeah, the
down.
biotech, CGIAR, states, the non-death penalty state, state tax, state death penalty, politics. Oh, your water. Oh, I guess you've been here for a while.
Something was revealed to me in TNC projects that I did not get before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that what you drank all your water?
No, I was under the water. Yeah.
Everybody ready?
They consider multiple impact towards biotechnology, collapse of small farms, leads to increased pesticides, which internally turns leads to human extinction because it works with food chain, internally turns all their hunger arguments on the other campaign. Now the campaign they've considered the impact towards biotech, spending argument elsewhere doesn't solve all hunger, because it doesn't solve all hunger, plus the affirmative will be able to solve by encouraging supply from other countries. No evidence indicates that it's key. They're internally getting disadvantages about reverse engineering seeds, where the cross-examination that is genetic engineering, which is not able to solve, and for evidence on all these claims because they are conceded arguments. We went internally defense to their internally defense comes now. The state's counterpart at least to politics. No more extended the last speech. Obviously, if Obama didn't step in with no collapse political capital because everybody would want it to do it. Also, collapse would collapse the United States leadership, or at least bodily, because no one would be able to see the signal cut from the states. Also, they have conceded that farmers will evade. They've had two pieces of evidence only indicate there have been taxes in the past. Support this is on things like big oil companies, not on small farmers, and the farmers will tax pay back a 7% of the and compress 50% farm income, only about 7% tax returns routed to viewers and shop income farmer independent consulting companies support to have some about the income support more evidence balance fit and want people lose their trust in the government, skill taxes, flood fair bias, the companies for taxation and farmers pay tax by dealing in cash flow manipulated record improvements and loss of their business 1% risk of any of some steps not ways to consider. Allison evidence indicates that it doesn't matter whether or not it's 1 or 20% in the world of nuclear terrorism, it actually risks extinction. It actually risks extinction with less result internally through supply reform. Now, the death penalty advantage they've conceded the affirmative solves all terrorism, so the fact that we cooperate with other countries doesn't matter in a world where there's no longer motivation to attack the United States. I don't know if there's a hegemony impact this evening. They've considered lane evidence indicates that all of their impacts are happy. We won't go for any of our theoretical objections. They're all obvious to reject the argument, not the team of separates and intrinsic are justified in institutes. You need to test the counterplan also. They or just test the competition. The peace must be a group. They can't say no Middle Eastern war because their idea set is based on Middle Eastern war. Their original impact indicates that it escalates to multiple series. Our evidence indicates that a two-state solution leads to accidental conflict. Israeli first text. They say that you should put the Brits attack. That's what trees professor like some important shit. Their evidence is it's not very good on their evidence. Not good. Let's push plus for conceding and internally their impact from that way. Also, it leads to nuclear war, two Palestinians, they had prosecuted catastrophic war, nuclear war, the Middle East, Palestinians, not only limited Israel's rating exchange, definitional zone, new infrastructure will become increasingly vulnerable to attack from Palestinian, territories in the creation of Palestinians, battle took power in the Middle East, until isolated, some likely Israel physically respond to next Palestinian Syria, Israel might resort to nuclear retaliation. But it's also talked about accident, which means that even if it's just a question of when the state actually becomes created. I don't think there's an impact. If if we solve all of terrorism, I have no idea why we need cooperation over things like data with the European Union politics. They said we will concede their piece of evidence right here. The hotline evidence says that the nomination happens in 5 days. It's from 3/18, which means it has already happened in the past. All of their reasons why political capital is high now, despite other issues like AIG, means that winners win is more likely true than the political capital than a political capital link. So they say that's the most probable impact. That's more true of the Palestinian state, Israeli impacts. Those are countries that actually have nuclear weapons, not countries like Iraq. They say that it's most likely scenario that takes out the other country. They say that political capital is increased, disproves the internally the dissent because there's tons of other issues like the budget, budget and banking problems, and also just usual problems in the first 100 days that what should have collapsed political capital means it would not spill over to other issues. Also, the budget at the top of the docket should have collapsed to HIO. And 326 questions on track to pass their resolutions in the floor next week. It's just 45 between Republicans and Obama's budget less heavy because of different paths to health instead of taking over reconciliation from Flashpoint because Republicans view fast tracks highly partisan immigration from LAHD 318. Obama will pass political capital immigration reform in the next 2 months. This year, the dialogue comprehensive immigration reform will be resumed. Obama assure lawmakers to reinvest parts of political capital moving forward on immigration reform and budget does spill over from Cooper. 20 Obama stood in the with Congress lawmakers passed budget when major programs and economic recovery plan that Obama said he would spend. The push with the programs, pushing with the programs in the budget. The act leads to Middle Eastern instability. That's our supply reform argument. So it's specific to India and Pakistan, encourage stability in the region, which we solve. We solve more than is try or die for when a small settlements deficit to the counter plan. Group the AIG made arguments indicates should have collapsed the political capital should spill over, and it was blamed on him. With Suite 320 Obama is not claiming that doesn't matter. Adopted the situation really bad. The public outreach feedback that was already evidence up to this point. No amount of presentation of facts is going to help because the public does not want to hear the public does not want to hear the more evidence. ABC News 317 in this environment, so it's impossible to imagine how the president's getting. Bill, big banks. How about another stimulus package out there? How about the budget, healthcare, cafeteria, education reform, Obama, and also the ability to block executive bonus today. Actually, is threatening to reveal public congressional support for his agenda. More evidence yesterday. In 317 bonus to raise questions about AIG lawmakers sought to raise that skepticism because over Obama's agenda is to propose a detailed budget. He wants to overall healthcare. That's what's going to be threatened to Congress. Rejects more heavy spending. Reconciliation outweighs Yost. 312 the Republicans subscribe to active reform here. There would be a holy hatchet key player and help us to be an insult using the reconciliation to force the law, make it difficult to get any moderate lawmakers on board. They make an overload link that's not unique alone. And Obama's reference to a number of difficult long-term challenges facing the country. That seems like a lot to do once president tries to make and really push for his entire agenda. The answer only go one that says we're going to do everything once for non-unique one links takes out the entire disproves the causality the internally they said that their link argument proves the true. No, the fact that political capital is high now plus in context of other issues means that our winners win. So winners win scenario is more likely a true singer. What's basically how much political capital Obama spent, political capital has been regenerated. What if when president spends great deal of political capital on an issue it was difficult then to succeed to be able to build more capital. Obama was bad to pass the stimulus, got to pass there. Despite near unanimous opposition being rewarded, Obama bidding for ambitious tax there. Not push forward on anything. All of their political capital links are reasons why he has overcome the lobbies, which is what the people inside of the American people want him to do right now. What the American people want him to do right now. Also, winners win or seen. I mean, when it comes to us, it looks like winners' power is able to ask to make people do something when otherwise not to power something. Them do otherwise things when otherwise not without anybody taking that from asking them for 12 repetitions when somebody will pull out. Richards and Carson start putting they want to cut the deals president early. On the winning team, more evidence plan is public insurance when CQ. Well, it takes 110 of the new president's last two first voting nations to define government regulations, parts from status quo, generally will feud possible at sync with voters' invitations and policies ran on platform change.
Did you make a solvency deficit on the case in your case?
How much time?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
How much do I have?
That's okay. Get back on cards.
It's 3.5.
How much time do I have left? 3:20. Thanks. I love you.
I think that's
It's under.
Hey, do you have the one you see?
I'm just trying to make him go away, honestly.
Did you guys have the one you see?
I haven't seen it.
What's the date?
Yeah, that was like a minute ago.
So you don't want to pass these devices. It's just, I mean, how to shoot that? It is just funny. Yeah. Yes, man. Yeah, I got this sticking to it. I'm sticking to myself at number 2. Earlier. This guy's like, I call myself up to him. I'm going to do for my class. Well, except for teaching that, yeah, it's, I can't believe he's like,
Okay, is there any impact to the peace process other than Middle East war?
No.
Okay. And you say Middle East war, it's just like it becomes a big nuclear war.
I mean, it's the same as you just said.
Okay, okay, that's what I'm making sure.
The agreement was that the impact of the peace process was continuous making war through shelter. That was regular Western
Yeah, or is the only impact of the peace process.
But they still are accessing the topics of the Kansas said they were attempting to access the negative evidence.
Why I think that was a moratorium. I want to help them post their video about all the solutions that were I see. It would be easier if I yeah, absolutely. I'll then make them. If I see them, I'll definitely. Yeah, if you see like Burfest or anything. Okay. We'll do kind of second.
Okay, the order is states, followed by offsets, followed by death penalty, followed by politics. Good? States, we're not going for it. There's nothing there that applies elsewhere. Offsets. Now, this was obviously one of the most boneheaded moves ever, but I think they gave it back to us. We're not going for offsets. We also linked the high yield DA, so we solve all the impact terms because we're going for the death penalty counterweight. Death penalty. Okay, so I messed up the high yield thing, and then the Middle East war thing on the DA, but Bricker was so eager to take advantage of it that they conceded the Germany war impact. They have conceded that the signal on the death penalty solves U.S.-German relations, and that is key to solve war and economic growth, which turns that Russia growth argument from the 1AC. They have no solvency after the counter plan, no permutation. I make arguments in the neg block where you prefer the Germany impact because its probability was 100% because they conceded in the 2AC. They say now the terrorism impact. They say the app solves all terror, no motive. This cannot be literally true. We read evidence that there's always some risk of terrorism, bioterrorism, and they've considered the 2NC impact analysis that any tiny, itty bitty risk, given that the counter plan also solves the motive for terrorism, any risk that someone still commits a terrorist attack outweighs any nuclear war, because nuclear war does not cause extinction, which is the site's evidence. You cannot come back from extinction, future generations, it's nearly infinite people that get lost, so any risk of that outweighs. The German war is better because it's more probable, any risk of terror is better because it's the biggest risk of extinction. They don't go for the firms, they concede their severance and intrinsic and should be rejected, they concede a clear statement TA that they will be struck down by the court. They do not go for conditional counterplans bad, they concede they're the heart of foreign policy, we don't condition the plan, we condition the subsidies, it's fully legitimate. Now, the Middle East war arguments. Germany outweighs because the probability is 100%, bioterror outweighs because of magnitude, that's all above. If I make this at all inevitable because of either the stuff I'm going to do on the politics DA or my indicts of Beres, we outweigh. Any less probability than Germany war, and the flow means we outweigh, because I said probability in the 2NC. Now, he says he's a professor. He does not answer my 2NC argument that he is a professor who has spent the last 30 years of his life trying to scare people away from the peace process because he is an Israeli hack. That is a reason he does not want the peace process. He does not want it because he has done independent analytic study. He does not want it because he supports Israel and does not like what it would do for Israel. So he says it would cause a nuclear war. Let's say that takes out 5% of the probability because it's just some indict that Seth is making up. It still means Germany war is outweighs because it's been dropped. They say it leads to a nuclear war. We'll make this inevitable. They have no impact outside of the nuclear war Middle East stuff that is on politics. They say accidents, the state created, solves terror, etc. He says it solves all terror. I just asked them if there was any impact to peace process other than Middle East war. They said no. The terror argument is explained above. We also solved the motive for terror, and US-EU deters bioterror, which is what the big impact is to. So even if the peace process motivates new terror, it is solved by the US-EU because their cooperation arrests those people and shut them down. Let's go to politics. This is their only offense, and they dropped ours. Politics. The nomination is 5 days away. I just did a Google News search for Chris Hill. I don't know if he's been confirmed or not. We're going to win the debate either way. If there is any risk he has not been, that means all of their internal link takeouts about budget, about immigration, about healthcare make it inevitable. Those are warrants that their link turn does not solve. Reasons he's already expended political capital. Those cards conclude that they were not wins for him. They did not activate winners win. They cost him political capital. That also mitigates the risk of Middle East war. It is even more inevitable than it was a second ago. They say no spillover. Their uniqueness cards don't validate this, though. Their non-unique say that these issues did spill over, which is a reason to prefer their evidence and their non-uniques making it inevitable over their own no spillover argument. Their argument was a double bind. Either this already activated it or it doesn't spill over. We are saying we'll concede your cards that it spilled over and non-unique it. But that's not my real trick. I hope you all can flow as well as I can. That's a joke. I can't flow at all. But I did get this. They said the AF solves Middle East war. And by they, I mean Bricker. Just a few minutes ago in the 1AR. Everybody was here. I hope some of you are flowing. Because I'm going to get mad at Ed Lee when he doesn't have this on their flow. So somebody help him out. It says the AF solves the Middle East. Concede that argument. The counterplan solves the entirety of the AF. The counterplan solves the entirety of the AF. He follows this argument by saying if we win any risk of the solid steps of the counterplan, we have link-termed the DA. I asked them about this during the prep time. They say that's about the state's counterplan, obviously, because there's no solvency to anything else. Now, the counterplan has never, politics has never been a net benefit to our counterplan. It does the plan since states say no, and is less unpopular for all the same reasons. Had they ever said it was a net benefit for us to avoid these kind of arguments, I would have read a card that said doing the conditioned states in this way cost Obama a lot of political capital. So these inevitability arguments don't get solved by winners win, because any risk they do is solved by the counterplan. But if I win a link to both the plan and the counterplan, any risk of it, that's even more inevitability, because both of them cause a Middle East war. So let's do that. They say winners win, and he has to overcome the lobbies. But you can see the 1AR's argument that it proved, or links prove it is a loss. Because in the process of winning, he expends political capital. They can see that that spills over to other agenda items because he has to please these people on other issues. He doesn't get winner momentum if he alienates all the people in the Congress. Even if they win, he does get winner momentum, so does the counterplan. I don't need much. I screwed up in the negative block. There are no speaker points. You cannot say we have lost this debate just because I was a bonehead. I don't know what the 2AR can say. Do not allow new answers. I don't know how he's going to talk any faster than that, because I haven't said very much. If he can give you a clear explanation, I don't know how he can.
I'm going to go to the bathroom. Can we get that U.S. chair?
Absolutely. Do you have the ones he showed for the Death Desert? Sorry, for condition of death penalty. That's our code. Yes. And the link to that is the DW.
I love it Let's get taxed. Everyone can flow. There's a scapegoat at.
No, Luke just set it up here. Yeah, he set it up here and he asked me to turn it on. And I did that.
It's probably in his room. All right, thanks, Ed. No problem.
I don't think so.
How much time do we have left? 4:58. 4:58, yeah.
How much time do they have?
4.5,
Thanks.
roughly.
messed up before and forgot to thank Ricker and Blake for debating. And I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. So Ricker, I don't end on a sour note. It'll be the death penalty counterclaim and the politics page.
Look, Seth is absolutely right. They did mess up in the block. You had they did mess up in the block, made it impossible for them to be able to win this debate. They should have gone to the case in the 1C instead of rating 10 off-case positions. It would have allowed them to be able to make these arguments, making inroads to terrorism or anything like that. Look, there is no impact to Germany, and the case will inevitably outweigh. The A7 point is this Germany piece of evidence says that United States-German relations have values that help nations live in peace. This is not a United States-Germany war impact. It doesn't identify a place where a single war exists or anything like that. There's no contextualization of how it would simulate economic growth or why that matters at all. Explain the Russian argument a little bit below. The B subpoint is terrorism. This is our argument about how they should have gone to the case in the 1NC. They conceded that we're able to solve for hearts and minds, as well as United States grain subsidies are a declaration of war on terrorism. Even though they are able to solve terrorism in the short term as well, they provide uniqueness for our Middle Eastern. I'll explain that as well. The C subpoint is leadership. Look, at the top of this debate, Bricker extended the lane piece of evidence, which takes out United States influence. We do not need to be able everywhere to be able to solve great power wars. If the United States is not crucial, there's no reason why United States-Germany relations are crucial to establish peace around the globe. There is no evidence for this peace process would probably tank the ability of the United States to establish peace around the globe. And look, this peace process argument is a direct impact to United States-German relations. It was contextualized within United States-European Union relations, which provides the impetus for a peace process in the first place, makes Middle East war absolutely likely. For the probability of our impact scenarios, which they read, probability pieces of evidence over random analytics that Seth maybe did some jive on in the 2NC. There is no way you can look at us at the end of the debate and say, yeah, they conceded an impact term, but they have this piece of evidence that says something about some war that doesn't even exist, or some meta-era of peace. There's no reverse causal evidence that says without United States-German relations there would be a war, so you should prefer the probability of our impacts. They say something about being able to solve for economic growth. That's absolutely untrue. One AC piece of evidence about Russia indicates that they need a substantial grain economy to be able to solve. I'm not sure why this is an external impact anyway. Sure, we both solve the case, but it's a question of how we solve the case. We say that we should solve the case unilaterally and independently, and that we should not use our subsidy cuts as leverage to be able to solve for the death penalty and reestablish United States-European Union relations. They say we don't solve all terrorism. This is absolute joke. No arguments in the 1NC, no arguments in the 2NC or 1NR, or even a warning claim on why it is true that we're not able to solve for your anti-Americanism around the globe. Our evidence in the 1AC is very good and completely uncontested. There's no reason why there's no reason why the app isn't able to solve all this. They make this risk in future generations argument. I'm not sure why this is true. All of this is about bioterrorism and disease leading to extinction outweighing nuclear war. A couple arguments here. The A subpoint is if we win, that we're able to solve for the impetus for terrorism. We're able to access biological terrorism as well. The B subpoint is the 1AC piece of evidence is about nuclear terrorism anyway. There's a fundamental disconnect between the impact analysis he's going for. They say German more probable. I'm not sure what war he's talking about. Not a single piece of evidence read in the debate or handed to us during this debate indicates that there's going to be a war. There's no way they're able to solve. There's no way. There's no warrant on why this would outweigh terrorism. Look, the plan and the counterplan provides uniqueness to our Middle East instability turns. There is going to be uniqueness in the status quo, and it is stable. But when there is relations, it makes it so that Israel and Palestine will establish a two-state solution, which makes it so that there's going to be nuclear war. Two pieces of evidence implicate this. The first is the 1AC, the 2AC Perez evidence indicates that there would be a massive nuclear war because there are two states to be able to acquire nuclear weapons. Israel is the only country in the Middle East with nuclear weapons. The B subpoint is the other piece of Perez evidence rather than 1AR substantiates this. It indicates that there's a high risk of accidents because of a history of problems. He's a professor that has studied this for a long time. So that even messes up a little bit and says that he's done independent analysis. I'm not quite sure why independent analysis would overwhelm some jive about what his qualifications are when he doesn't even know who Perez is in the first place. Perez has been studying this for 30 years. No reason why Israeli hack takes out the argument anyway. There is a question of accidents otherwise.
Therefore, it's the ambassador to Germany.
Their the ambassador to Germany, probably has some interest in saying that United States-German relations are good. They say 5% probability. I don't think there's a 5% probability takeout with Middle East war. This was a functionally conceded argument. There was not an argument in the block at all to take out the Perez evidence or the warrants of it. Even if he makes these authority claims about how Perez is not qualified, there is not a warranted argument about how there would not be a peace process. Several internal links make it true. Paul.
They say that we conceded their evidence on the topic of politics.
And we conceded their evidence at the top of the politics. This said the first is that your evidence says 325 is when the confirmation is going to happen. Notice if this is going to happen. So you have several pieces of evidence indicates it's going to lead to that's highest probability. Middle East is the place where conflict is going to happen. So it leads to extinction. The course the evidence says would draw in Russia, China, the United States. If there's a massive nuclear war between the two, I'm not sure how they would be able to avoid the conflict or why U.S.-German relations would be able to check that Middle East war is not inevitable. The worst is that we conceded that it is unique in the status quo, so it is stable now, but the counterclaim decreases stability by making it possible for Israel and Palestine to establish a two-state solution. There was no uniqueness or any other type of evidence read in the ground, so there's only a risk of that they increase the possibility propensity of conflict. They say the affirmative solves. Berger's argument on this is that the plan is able to solve for India and Pakistan, so it leads to a spillover that causes other wars. But if both the plan and the counterplan stabilize the Middle East, that is exactly our argument. In the future, it makes it possible so that there is a two-state solution, so there's a massive nuclear war. We agree that it links to both the plan and the counterplan. It doesn't make any sense why that is an applicable argument. Look, they conceded an impactor into the counterplan. There's no reason why both the plan and counterplan, even if they win this argument about how both of us solve Middle Eastern instability, maybe Berger tripped up in the 1AR, that's true, but that does not solve for the future impact of United States-European relations being rejuvenated by the counterclaim. They also conceded that you go gap on presumption. We made these arguments about how defaults back to affirmative if you think it's close at all because of all the counterclaims they read, you should vote app.